Hello YouTube, Retro Nostalgia fan here. Beach Boy fans, music community, and the vinyl community. My name is Noah, and today we're going to review another album. This is my third album review, and it's the second Beach Boys album I'm reviewing. It's actually the first Beach Boys album I've ever owned. It's 1965's Summer Days and Summer Nights. This is my third copy of this album. And this album is sentimental because my first copy I got when I was 13, back in 2015, and it was a UK June 1967 first pressing in stereo. And it had the laminated jacket and the flipbacks, and I was like, what? The Beach Boys had UK pressings? I never knew that until I saw my first Beach Boys album that I owned, which was this album. And I had a UK first pressing. This is an East Coast US first pressing. But this one says dual phonic. My UK first pressing says stereo, but it's actually the same dual phonic mix, which is strange. But here's the back of it. Al Jardine wasn't in the photo right here because he was sick that day. He had a flu, very bad flu. In fact, on one of his cover letters right there, he actually mentions that he's apologetic about not being in the sessions on the album cover. However, Bruce Johnson, he's not on the cover here, but on this side of if this photo was uncropped, Bruce Johnson was in the background on this side of the boat. And this is Dennis Wilson's boat, fun fact, his sailboat. And this is a really charming cover. Brian looks really happy right here. You can see him. This is Brian right there. There's Mike. There's Dennis right here controlling the sailboat. And there's Carl also helping out with Dennis. Also looking like he's secretly smoking a cigarette on his hand right there. It's a little hard to see on the camera, but I'm at my grandma's house making this video. Anyway, back on the album. So in 1965, the Beach Boys made a really very beautiful, fun, charming pop album called Beach Boys Today. I'm gonna make another recreated video, re-review on that, or I'll just delete the old one and put a new review on Beach Boys Today. But anyway, the album was in the top 10, and it didn't do as well. It didn't get to the top 5 or top 4, and Capitol was a little annoyed about that because they wanted more number 1 hits or number 2 hits from the Beach Boys. So Capitol's like, hey, guys, can you go back to the summer stage of your career, make a summer album like you did in the good old days? So Brian's like, okay. But he will sprinkle a little bit of his creativity and magic on this album, which I'll get to when I talk about the songs. And we got Summer Days, Summer Nights. Even though Beach Boys Party, which I'll talk about in the future, actually was the last pre-Pet Sounds album, this album, out of the phases, I consider kind of like the last album in the early Beach Boys albums. And today, I wouldn't, in the Christmas album, I wouldn't count just because Summer Days has that early vibe. But it's kind of hard what you would consider this album. I think I'll just consider it in the middle phase of the Beach Boys, their second phase from Christmas album to Beach Boys Party before Pet Sounds. But just for fun, I like to think of this as the last, early first phase of the Beach Boys. But anyway, though, let's get into the track listing. So, first track on side 1 is Girl from New York City. This song kicks ass. It's a 10 out of 10 track for me. It's a catchy, groovy song, and it's just really fun, just the fact that it's kind of a ripoff of I Get Around, but the problem is that a lot of people don't even know this song, and it's not a big deal if you don't know the song. Girl from New York City is very underrated, but there's a song called The Boy from New York City from 1964, but it's a complete different song. Girl from New York City, I love Mike's saxophone in the beginning, and then you start with saxophone, and then you start getting the guitar from Carl and Al. It's catchy, and even Brian helps out. And the vocals are fabulous on this. And not to mention, it's just very creative. I think Girl from New York City is a really good album. And I mean, good song, my bad. It's a good song. Sorry, ignore the background noises. It's, just trying to focus on the album review. Focus. Anyway, track 2, Amusement Park USA. Not as good as Girl from New York City. Not a 10 out of 10, it's a 9 out of 10. But it's still a fabulous track because it's just fun and silly in a charming way. It's like County Fair, but the only thing with County Fair is that didn't have any compressed instrumentation, whereas Amusement Park USA has an carnival organ, has saxophones, and it's just, and I love the Mel Blanc just doing the I-ray, folks, step right up in the Beach Boys circus. I love it. It's so fun and charming. Amusement Park, and Mike sings really, honestly, Mike on this whole album, he's, as much as people don't like Mike Love, I think he sings really good in this album. He sings good in most of the early Beach Boys stuff, at least for like Summer Days and All Summer Long, or even Beach Boys Today and Pet Sounds he sings, and even on Friends, Mike sings really good. But anyway, though, Amusement Park USA is a really damn fun track. I love it. Then I Kissed Her. This song was popular in England. It was actually released in 1965 in the US and Canada, but in the UK it was released 2 years later in June 1967. Well, nearly 2 years later. This album came out in June 67 in the UK, which is crazy how some of the early Beach Boy albums were released in England, which I'll make a separate video on that later. But Then I Kissed Her, we get Al singing, and he sings really good. It's a cover of a song called Then I Kissed Him, but of course, at the time, if a boy talks about another boy, it'd be weird, it'd be gay. So, and at the time, people didn't really accept homosexuals or trans at the time, so of course they changed the lyric to her instead of him. And Al sings, and it's a really good cover. It's a really good cover song, and Al sings great. And then another fun song, and not to mention the first 2 tracks, Girl from New York City, Amusement Park USA, and Salt Lake City, are fun traveling trips. If you're going on a swimming beach and you love the Beach Boys, I recommend playing Girl from New York City, Amusement Park USA, and Salt Lake City as some of the Beach Boys songs to put as a fun road trip songs. Salt Lake City is a fun song if you go to Salt Lake City, or even just go swimming. I love Salt Lake City. It's a 10 out of 10 track. And then I Kissed Her, I forgot to give that a ranking. I give that song a 10 out of 10 as well. I love a lot of these songs on side 1. Salt Lake City is a 10 out of 10. It's just again, it's kind of like, it's as good as like Surfing USA, but it's talking about a city instead of just surfing in the USA. And quite frankly, Salt Lake City is another underrated song, and I think it's a really, really good song. It's really catchy. It's just simple, just plain simple, but charming pop song from the 60s. And I love the ending. I love the little bells in the ending. It's like do do do. I just love that echoing bells that you hear in the end of the song, very, very end. If you turn the volume up on it, I love that on the Salt Lake City, and the saxophone solo on Salt Lake City is fabulous. The saxophone, the instrumentation's fabulous on all these songs on this album. And then we get Carl's second vocal lead on Girl Don't Tell Me. This song is just about Carl not getting along with his first relationship, and he's just not accepting her BS. That's what Girl Don't Tell Me is about. And I think it's a great Carl song. It's a fabulous Carl song. Now, most Beach Boy fans love Carl or Brian, usually, or even Dennis. I love the Wilson brothers myself, too. And I even like Al. Mike, I give him credit. As much as he gets hatred, I give him a little bit of slack, just because I think all the Beach Boys has a little bit of creativity, despite Mike Love making Summer of Love and Summer of Paradise. Ugh. Yeah, he shouldn't be a producer on the Beach Boys album, I will admit that. But he's not too bad of a guy in some aspects. Anyway, Girl Don't Tell Me. back with Carl. This song is more of Carl's personal song, just like I said about his first relationship. It's just about the fact that girl doesn't truly love him. He's just like, girl, don't tell me if you don't like me. You know, that's what the song is really about. Well, Carl just trying to get through like his first relationship in like high school, and the girl says it loves him but doesn't truly mean it, and that's what Girl Don't Tell Me is about. That's what I've learned about the song, and it's an underrated song too, like Salt Lake City and Girl from New York City, and I think it's another hidden gem. I really love it. It's so relatable, you know. It's not as emotional as Wouldn't It Be Nice on Pet Sounds, or In the Back of My Mind, but Girl Don't Tell Me is a fabulous Carl song. Whereas Carl's first song, Pum Pum Playgirl, really great rocker, but it's just Carl trying to be under Brian's legs at the time. And, of course, Murray was with the Beach Boys until, like, the Christmas album, or even All Summer Long. By the time All Summer Long came out, Murray was out as not manager anymore with the band. Ever since their 6th album, All Summer Long. But sometimes he would still come in the studio from All Summer Long, and even the Christmas album and Beach Boys Today. Heck, there might have, rumors had it that sometimes Murray would come BS with the Beach Boys in a very salty way, giving Brian a lot of hell and crap, trying to not mind his business, but yet, Murray was really he wasn't always a good father with the Wilson brothers, and sometimes he tries to get into Brian's and the band's personal lives when really he's just putting them to shame during some of the sessions, especially the Help Me Rhonda sessions, which that's on YouTube if you want to check that out. It's very interesting. But yeah, anyway, there's rumors where he was in some of the sessions during this album. Of course, Help Me Rhonda is one of them, but the rest I don't know. I don't know about the other songs, just I know Help Me Rhonda was in a scenario. It was more during the Beach Boys Today sessions, though. Anyway, speaking of Help Me Rhonda, we get Al again on Help Me Rhonda, the single version. Now, it's weird that they used the song again, but it's a different variant, and some of the lyrics were a little different on this one. And I recommend checking it out. You'll know what I mean when you check it out. The Beach Boys Today and the Summer Days version. Personally, I like this version. I grew up with the single version. It's shorter, and I think it's a lot cooler. Though I know some Beach Boy fans that prefer the 2-day version. I love both of them. Both Girl Don't Tell Me and Help Me Rhonda are 10 out of 10 tracks. Help Me Rhonda it was one of their last early #1 hits. Good Vibrations was their last #1 hit in America, and Do It Again was last #1 hit before Kokomo in the UK. And anyway, back onto Beach Boys' Summer Days and Summer Nights. Help Me Rhonda, I think the single version's really good. There's not much else to say. The saxophone solo from Mike is fabulous, and instrumentation, very fun, poppy, and catchy. I just love side 1. It's a 10 out of 10. Now we get to side 2. This is where the songwriting gets creative. We start off with California Girls. Holy crap, is there a lot to talk about California Girls. Out of all the pop songs at this point, California Girls was very expressive for Brian. It's the first song, I think the first song in public like pop history where a musician did LSD, and it was really new at the time. People weren't going crazy with it until 1967. 1966 was the start of it, but 1965, you didn't even know what the hell that was. It was very, very new. And Brian tried LSD when he wrote California Girls, which I was shocked. I didn't even know that, but I didn't even know he was on pot, because, 1965, you didn't expect drugs being that common in 65, but apparently I was wrong. I should get my research right. But California Girls, I love the melody. I now know how to play that song on piano. It's fun playing the song on piano. Love the intro. It could be like in 2 different sections in 2 different songs. California Girls is so unique and creative. It's a 10 out of 10 pop song. it's one of the Beach Boys' national anthems for their hits. I think Surfin' USA is that, or Good Vibrations, or even Do It Again for some places. But California Girls is definitely like their highlight song. It's another 10 out of 10. It's like on this album too, from here on out, things get more unique. California Girls, though, is a really great song to start off on side 2. Then we get Let 'Em Run Wild. Now we're getting back to the Beach Boys today kind of style here with songwriting. Let 'Em Run Wild, it's about Brian seeing that, it's about when a man sees a girl dating someone else and he just lets that guy slip through. He doesn't get pissed with the person dating his own girlfriend. He just lets it happen. That's what Let 'Em Run Wild is all about. It's a really beautiful song. It's another great masterpiece song. And it's also just about being young and just chasing women. In a very charming way, but it sounds kind of messed up at some scenarios, but it really is but if you hear the song, though, you'll know what I mean. It's a really fun, charming song. It's very artistic and expressive. It definitely is a really beautiful, little, charming love song, I think. And then you get You're So Good to Me. Now, so far the other two songs, so far we're starting really amazing on side 2. First 2 tracks are 10 out of 10 tracks. But You're So Good to Me, I give that an 8. I know some people love this song. They love how fast, uptight beat it has. Like, dun 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 dun. But I don't like the vocals on it. I just don't like the lyrics or vocals. The melody's alright, but I know it was a hit. It's one of my least favorite Beach Boy hits. You're So Good to Me. I'm sorry to say that. It's like how some people say Drive My Car is their least favorite Beatles song. That's how I feel about You're So Good to Me. I think sometimes it's overly played. Well, not overly played, not to be honest with you. It's not that played, but when you see if you're a Beach Boys, diehard Beach Boys fan like me, and you hear the song on all your compilation Beach Boy albums, it's kind of overrated for some fans. Most fans, though, say they love it. I'm just not so big of the vocals. I don't like the part where Brian and the guys are like, and I love it, la la la. I just don't like that. I mean, Brian's high tone voice, when he sings high, like in Don't Worry Baby or Caroline No, when he does that high, or I'm so young, his high pitched voice sounds beautiful. But on this song, You're So Good to Me, it's kind of like the song Lena, where his voice is more obnoxious. In those two songs, Lana from their second album, the Beach Boys' second album, Surfin' USA, and You're So Good to Me. And the only time I don't like his falsetto, the only 2 songs I don't like Brian's falsetto on are those 2 songs. But other than that, his voice is still fabulous. I mean, the lyrics are great. It's just the melody of the lyrics. It's just like do 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 do. I don't know. I give this song a hit or miss for me. Like, I used to don't like it at all. If I was younger, like back when I was 13, when I first heard this album on my UK pressing, I would have given it like a 3 out of 10. I know some of you Beach Boy fans might hate me and put hate comments on that, but now I give it a more respected ranking. I give it an 8. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's a good song. The lyrics are great. I do love the lyrics. It's about just how a guy appreciates his girlfriend for being a true-hearted woman to that person. That's what the song You're So Good to Me is all about. I like it. Love the lyrics. I just don't like how the melody is. I wish the melody was rewritten differently. I wish it wasn't all fast and poppy. I wish it was just more... I wish it was more steady, like a song like Kiss Me Baby. I wish You're So Good to Me was more like a Don't Worry Baby melody, or had the melody like Kiss Me Baby. oh, then You're So Good to Me would have been a 10 out of 10 for me. But it's still a good song, just not a perfection for me. I just think it's good. It's lucky it's an 8 out of 10 for me. Sometimes I can change my mind on that song. It's a hit or miss. It's a hit though for me, just as an 8 though. Summer Means New Love. It's an instrumental track. It's very beautiful. Way later on, in I believe 2010s, when Brian made one of his solo albums. I haven't really heard any of his solo albums. I need to check those out though sometime. He actually rewritten had added lyrics to Summer Means New Love, and he renamed it, and I can't remember the name of the song. Let me know in the comments if you're a Beach Boys fan and you know the rewritten version of Summer Means New Love with the lyrics, with Brian adding lyrics. I think this instrumental is beautiful. Even though it's kind of filler, I love it. It fits the album very well, actually. For an instrumental, it's a 10 out of 10, but for just a song on the track listing, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's a really good instrumental. And then we get the only bad song. This is a real filler. I don't know why they added this. They should have added a song that they were going to work on called Sherry, She Needs Me. That song would have been fabulous. I would have loved hearing that song. I heard it. It's a shame they didn't finish lyrics for it until 1976, where Brian finished the lyrics to that song, but was still never released in public. I really wish Sherry, She Needs Me was the replacement to this abomination of a track. I'm bugged at my old man. It's Brian being blunt and personal about how mean of an asshole his dad was to him. I can understand. I mean, in the back of back of the jacket, it literally says, "Too embarrassed," and let me show you in the light. I know it's a little bright, but if you look right there, I'm bugged at my old man. It says "Too embarrassed" right there on. You see what I mean. Anyway, that song is just garbage. I mean, I know Brian's personal and blunt. I just wanted to show that in the lighting, that way you could see. But I'm bugged at my old man. It's just silly. It's kind of in the middle of the album on side 2. And it doesn't fit the album. I give I'm Bugged at My Old Man like a 4 out of 10. It's just too obnoxious and kind of silly. Smells so good. I'm bugged at my old man, but I got suspended from school. I'm just not a big fan of this track. But that's the only track I don't like. The rest of this album is fabulous, though. And then Your Dreams Come True is a beautiful acapella. We haven't had something like this for an acapella since their Lil Deuce Coupe album, A Young Man Gone, which that was a full 2 minutes. Here it's like 50 seconds or even 1 minute. 38 seconds it was. 38 seconds, 38 to 40 seconds. It's a beautiful acapella. It's very short. I love it. It's a great way to end the album. It's a 10 out of 10 for a small little filler short. It's a great little filler to add on the album, and Your Dreams Come True is fabulous. And that concludes Summer Days and Summer Nights. Is this the best Beach Boys album of all time for me? No. No, it's not. But is it a really damn good Beach Boys album? Yes, it would be in my top 10, actually. And, quite frankly, I love the cover on this album. You see that Brian is really happy. Just seeing Brian happy on here just looks really cool. Like, that's just really fun. You can tell they had fun. Despite Brian feeling a little annoyed with Capitol not appreciating the facts that Beach Boys Today didn't sell as well, trying to get him to go back the old routes with surfing and summer music, Brian still, it looks like on this photo, you can tell right here, Brian was having a lot of fun. Good old Brian hanging by the string of Dennis's sailboat. But I think this is a fabulous album, you know. One track doesn't kill this album. This album is still a fabulous album. And out of a 10, I think I honestly would give this album a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's a fabulous album. If Sherry She Needs Me and You're So Good to Me were, like, if You're So Good to Me had a different melody, it was more laid back, like Kiss Me Baby, if it had the instrumentation like Kiss Me Baby or Don't Worry Baby, I would have gave You're So Good to Me a 10 out of 10. And I'm Bugged at My Old Man kind of kills the album, but if it had Sherry She Needs Me, I would have gave this album a 10 out of 10. But it's a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, honestly, my top 10 Beach Boy albums are usually between a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. The filler tracks I don't count, but in this case, I'm Bugged at My Old Man, I do count. So personally, I'm just going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. But this is a fabulous album. It really is a really fun Beach Boys album. If you're into the early Beach Boys, I recommend picking up Summer Days and Summer Nights. But if you're really wanting to see their creativity aspect, of course, no surprise, get Pet Sounds. But otherwise, I'm going to let this video conclude with saying that Summer Days and Summer Nights is a really good Beach Boys album. It's a fabulous Beach Boys album. It's not perfect, but it's near damn close to being perfect. But otherwise, this is Retro Nostalgia Fan saying goodbye and have a great day.